Thank you. Good evening, everyone. The hour being 7 p.m. on Monday, August 11th, 2025. I'd like to call to order the City of Laconia City Council meeting. The first thing we'd like to do this evening is to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd ask Councilor Cheney if he would lead us.
Happily. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilor. We're joined by our City Clerk and Tax Collector, serve as our recording secretary tonight, Katie Gargano. I'd ask her to please call the roll.
Councilor Cheney.
Here.
Councilor Susie.
Here.
Councilor Hoffman.
Present.
Councilor Haynes.
Here.
Councilor Bogert.
Here.
Councilor Felch.
Here.
Mayor Hosmer.
Present. Thank you. We're also joined by City Manager Kirk Biotti and Finance Director Glenn Smith. Going to the agenda, continuing along the agenda, agenda item number 7, which is the acceptance of minutes from previous meetings. City Council regular meeting minutes of July 28th, 2025 were distributed to members of the City Council on August the 8th, 2025. With no corrections or changes submitted to the clerk, the minutes will be accepted as distributed. Agenda item 8. Under consent and action items, these are recommendations for appointments to boards and commissions. The appointment subcommittee met on July 31st, 2025 and interviewed candidates for appointment to the city's boards and commissions. The following individuals were given a strongly recommend. The following individuals are strongly recommended by the appointments subcommittee for appointment to the city's boards and commissions. Arthur Kirk, reappointed to the Parks and Rec Commission. Richard Bodie, appointment to the Zoning Board of Adjustment, moving from alternate to a full member. Deb Williams, reappointment to the Conservation Commission. John Tracy, appointment to the Water Commission. Warren Clement, reappointment to the Downtown TIF District Advisory Board. Lois Kesson, reappointment to the Heritage Commission. Michael Ageropoulos, appointment to the Library Board. Lisa Moore, reappointment to the Conservation Commission. Aaron Bassett, reappointment to the Library Board. Charlie St. Clair, reappointment to the Downtown TIF Advisory Board. Right now, I'll be looking for a motion to move to approve the appointment of candidates to the city's boards and commissions as presented and as recommended by the appointment subcommittee. So made by Councilor Haynes, seconded by Councilor Susie. Is there any further discussion? Only thing I'd like to say is thank you to everyone who raises their hand and is willing to serve on these boards. They're critically important to the operation of the city, and your commitment of time and energy is greatly appreciated, I believe, by all of us. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the appointments, please indicate by raising your hand. 6 votes in the affirmative, and that motion passes. Agenda item number 9, citizens' comments for matters not on the agenda. If any citizens here this evening would like to speak to matters not on tonight's agenda, now would be the appropriate time. As no one has stepped forward, we'll move along to the mayor's report. The only thing I'd like to say this evening is that this is the second to last meeting that I will be serving. The last meeting will be on Monday the 25th for me. The conclusion of that meeting will be the conclusion of my term. No. My term will conclude at the end of the year. I'm resigning at the end of that meeting, and it'll be effective at the end of that meeting. It's more accurate. Moving on to council comments. Are there any council comments this evening? Councilor Felch.
Yeah, just a quick mention of Gut Lunch. We sent food out to 550 children this morning. I also want to put a thanks out to Pepe. I'm not sure what his name is, but he goes around and waters the flowers downtown every day. I don't know if it's every day, but he's the one that waters them every time they need water and keeping them looking good. And also, National Night Out is this Thursday from 4 to 7. Everybody come by and check out everything they got going on, get a free hot dog, and enjoy.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Cheney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wouldn't want to disappoint you in your second to last.
Please, I'm begging you to.
I know we've discussed this, and I know it's gone to committee, but I would ask that the committee move as quickly as possible on the resident-only parking issue.
there are a number of problems that continue to arise there. I believe the dock thing comes up at some point.
That's tonight, yep.
I wanted to ask if a request had been forwarded to the Historic District or the Historic Committee to look at the Weirs as a historic district. And if not, if they could do that between now and next meeting and get some sort of a report on whether they think they can go forward with that or not. At the last council meeting, I asked about the solar panel project at the Weirs. I got a quick answer. I was hoping you could give us a few more details with regards to that.
Yeah, I can, Mr. Mayor, if I may, so the solar farm is up and running. This is the one in the Weirs, off of Sterling Drive. It's been running since January of 25. We don't benefit as far as we don't have buildings that are running off the electricity because of what's working up there. We do receive, by contract, we receive money based on a fraction of a cent of kilowatt hours, and I don't have how much we receive, but we also do receive a lease payment on that, which we've estimated at this year at about $30,000 in what we'll be receiving this year. So yes, it produces power, but it goes back into the system, and we get a small amount of money for that, which I don't have the exact number yet. It's only been running for about half a year now, so.
If I may, one other item. I received correspondence from residents on Beekman Street with regards to parking problems. They supplied me with 3 or 4 pictures of vehicles on the street. A military type truck parked on the sidewalk and trucks and cars preventing walking on the sidewalk. I'll provide those to the manager, but I'm hoping we can enforce some of these things, not just there, but in other areas around the city.
I have a copy that was forwarded to the police chief, and I'll get a follow-up to see if they were able to do anything about it.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Any other council comments? Liaison reports or committee reports? I would like to let the council know that it will be a brief non-public session almost at the conclusion of the meeting tonight. Let the public know that when we come back from a non-public session, it will only be to adjourn the meeting. No new business will be taken care of. And I'll give you more details once we move to go into non-public. Agenda item number 19, which is citizens' request to comment on current agenda items. If anyone is here who would like to speak to current agenda items, now would be the appropriate time.
Thank you. Hey, Councilman Mayor, I'm Chad Puzzo from I'm from Mini Winnie Party Bus Company. I'm here to speak the previous meeting about the docks at Weirs Beach, and that was a $100 fine for the commercial boats. I'm here again because the rule will hurt my business and it will hurt the Weirs itself. And you know, customers charging a fine for people in the business of paying customers to make absolutely no sense. This is the exact opposite of what we're trying to do here at the Weirs to grow and thrive. Our boat is not we don't do business at the dock. We don't loiter, solicit. We don't have staff there. We don't sell merchandise. Every trip is booked in advance. We dock only long enough to pick people up and drop people off respectfully, quickly, and safely. In fact, Weirs is one of the stops that we like to recommend to our customers. We tell them to visit the arcades, the bars, restaurant, because we want them spending time and their money right here at the Weirs. Many of our guests are from out of state, so families, birthday groups, bachelorette parties, who ask us where to eat, shop, where to have fun. We send them to the Weirs, delivering customers straight to the front door of the local businesses. If buses, Ubers, and limos can drop people off the Weirs Boulevard, why can't we use the public docks and treat it any differently? It's not just the tour boats. Many rental boats, excuse me, driven by renters are full of people ready to spend money, are also considered commercial. Why would they send this message? They're not welcome. I grew up here. I've seen the Weirs, what it does. The Weirs thrives when people get there easily and spend their money locally. Restricting and fining for very boats that bring these people here is a step backwards. I urge you to reconsider the rule. Let's keep the docks open and bring the business to the Weirs. Thanks. And what can I do, or we do, to help this process, get a little easier for us? Any comments from you guys? I was just asking, that's all, just asking.
Well, I think the best thing you can do is show up and keep speaking up.
All right.
I mean, as far as that,
I just wanna make
appreciate
sure-
you taking time.
All right, I just want to make sure it's
Is there
speaking and
something you
nothing
wanna
goes.
If I might, Mr.
Sure.
Mayor, I'd ask that we move item 21D up to this point in the agenda.
I'll move it up after we finish agenda item number
Yep,
19,
yes,
which we've started.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anybody else want to speak? Oh, we got more?
Thank you for your time. Bill Werner, 19 Long Island Road, Molten Borough, New Hampshire, VERNER. I don't know if it was an oversight. You've done a great job on the docks. I do own Lake Winnipesaukee Boat Tours. I'm 80 years old, running a business. Could not believe when I saw the sign. But I think there may have been an oversight by the board in that I'm a disabled veteran. And I don't see a handicapped dock down there. It works very well down in Wolfboro, where we share handicapped dock and picking up of our patrons on the boats. It'd be a great idea to be able to share a dock with the handicap. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Jeff Hagopian. I'm the owner of Lake Winnipesaukee Pontoon Boat Charters and Tours. And like Bill and Chad, who just spoke, I do the same thing. I do private tours out on the lake. And I don't want to, I think Chad made a lot of very good points as far as the economic impact, so I don't want to take the time to regurgitate that all over again. The only thing I will say is that, and all of the Google reviews I have received, people have commented that Jeff has recommended good places to eat, drink at the Weirs, et cetera. So the economic impact is significant. The other aspect, though, I think is important, is a safety aspect. And I don't know if any of you gentlemen boat on the lake at all, but it can be a very, very treacherous area around the Weirs, particularly on a weekend. Lots of boat traffic, there's a lot of wave action from a lot of different boats going a lot of different directions. Many of the people, if not most of the people that I have taken out this year have never been to Lake Winnipesaukee before. They want to get out on the lake, but they want to do it safely. And I think one of the things to be considered is the fact that all of us who do this, we're providing a level of safety for people who have never been on the lake and probably should not be on the lake on a boat that they're renting or purchasing. So I think that's something to perhaps consider. And then the last question, just a question I had is, I know these signs were never posted previously when the old docks were there, and now it is. I was just curious, what was the genesis and what was the need that was felt that these signs should be put up? Because there is quite a few of them, and it was more of a matter of curiosity.
Councilor Cheney, you want to address that? Why don't you
two things.
lean into your microphone?
Yes, two things. One, you're way too tanned to come in here. I am one of the people who brought the issue up. I did because I received several complaints from constituents who said, there used to be signs on the docks, now there aren't. All these boats are coming in and spending the day, and the list went on and on and on. I'm pleased to hear what you and the others are saying. I'm hoping to move this tonight to a committee and try and get this done. But you should be aware that there are folks up there who are not happy with with boats coming into the docks. The impression I got was they thought you spent too much time there. That may not be true, and maybe that's an argument we can have in front of the committee. But I think that was one of the concerns that was expressed to me. So in fairness to the rest of the council, I'm the one that brought it in. I did it because the ordinance already existed.
Yes,
Correct.
correct.
What was happening was posting signs for something that already was there. And the last thing I would tell you is, several of the people I talked to said they haven't talked to any of the other docks to see if they can use those. I don't know whether that's true or not, but if it is, you might want to, while we're debating this, see if other docks might be available.
Yeah, well, okay, and that's very, thank you for that. I guess, can you say who it was who complained? Because I think it's is there any evidence to support what they're saying? Did they provide any evidence? Because to say that we're there for hours on end that's just not true. As Mr. Puccio just said, it's more or less a touch and go. Show up, get the people, leave, and then come back.
I don't question you on that. What I would say to you is the ordinance existed. It's not something council did recently with the new docks. The ordinance existed, and one or more of my constituents said, how come you're not enforcing the ordinance that already exists? So I think what I'm going to do tonight is recommend it go to ordinance committee, and for review. You're more than welcome to come there and work with that committee to find a solution to the problem.
Okay. And just one last thing I don't want to take up too much time, and again, this just goes to a safety aspect of things, and I don't know if you as a board and you, Mr. Mayor, have the influence, but I see where it says Lake Winnipesaukee in the sign behind you. That area of the weirs, as I said, and if any of you have been out there, you know how treacherous it is. It is, in my opinion, and I speak this as an individual who trains officers in the U.S. Navy and serves as a maritime expert witness in a lot of legal cases involving safety and whatnot. That is a very dangerous area. Is there any way that a good portion of, say, from Eagle Island to where the pier is, could be made a no-wake zone, much like there is in Meredith?
That would be a state.
That's on the state level?
Right.
That has nothing to do with you guys? Okay.
I would tell you, I had a pontoon boat for a dozen years, and it was the Weirs Channel that convinced me to sell my boat, because it was just...
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Gotcha. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak to matters on tonight's agenda? Okay, we'll adjust tonight's agenda and move up item 21D.
Mr. Mayor, if I might,
Let me get it going, hold on. Let me tee it up for you, how's that?
Okay.
21D, agenda item 21D, which is city council discussion regarding chapter 229 of the Laconia City Code, Wharves, section 229-3, commercial use restricted. The city council and city manager have received requests from multiple Lake Winnipesaukee related businesses requesting the city council consider amending city code chapter 229 Wharves to allow short-term docking by commercial vessels for the purpose of transporting passengers in and out of Weirs Beach via the Weirs docks. This request specifically relates to chapter 229-3, commercial use restricted. I think what we're looking to do right now is perhaps look for a motion to move this to,
Ordinance and...
well, no, you can't table it because then it's stuck here.
No.
Yeah, no.
It's gotta be moved. So I'd like to see if there is the intent perhaps to move this to government operations and ordinances. I look to Counselor Haynes as the chair.
Yes.
Yes. So Counselor Haynes, seconded by Counselor Felch. has moved this item be moved to government operations and ordinances. Is there any discussion, Counselor Cheney?
No, I'm happy with that. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right, and when is that next meeting?
Actually, we have a meeting scheduled for the 13th. I don't know if Nancy can get that.
Yes.
Can Nancy
The
get that?
intent is going to be, if you approve to move this forward, well, it's already ready to go on the agenda for that night,
Okay, so it'll be-
that afternoon.
Any further discussion on this matter?
I think it's 2 o'clock. Yeah,
What's that again?
At 2 o'clock.
2 PM.
it's at 2 o'clock.
Okay,
We should tell,
Wednesday, the 13th at 2 o'clock in this.
did you get
Yeah.
that?
Yep.
Wednesday, the 13th at 2 o'clock.
Yep.
All right? Thanks,
all right.
gents.
All those in favor of this motion indicate by raising your hand. 6 votes in the affirmative. That motion passes. Getting back to,
Mr. Mayor, if I could just add a comment, just so, just as a reminder, after if it goes through on Wednesday and the committee comes to a consensus, when it comes back to the council, it will require a public hearing, so there'll be an additional step for public to speak, and I just don't want everybody to think that it goes Wednesday, passes, it moves on. There is a couple more steps that have to take place.
so the earliest, the very earliest this could be resolved in any way, shape, or form is September.
Correct.
That's if everything goes high speed.
Correct.
Okay. All right. It's on the agenda then for Wednesday, 13th at 2
2
PM.
o'clock, 2 p.m.
Agenda item number 20, which is the city manager's report. Turn it over to Clerk Biotti.
All right, so I have a couple of things here. One of them and I'll give this to Gabe as a press release, just related to your announcement tonight, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to spell out the plan which will be used to fill your vacancy. We will begin advertising on August 13th. We're gonna run this in the same way that we do if we have a vacancy for a city council member, where it will be open to someone who's registered as a voter in the city, to be able to put their name in. That will begin on Wednesday and will run until close of business on August 28th. We then will have a special meeting for interviews in the council to select the mayor to fill the remainder of the term on September 4th at 6 PM here in council chambers. So that'll be the process by which we go. We'll have the application on on our website, and it'll also I'll have paper copies in my office and in the city clerk's office. Somebody can come in, fill it out. Again, we chose to run this the same way that we do for a vacancy in a city council position. So just want to give the quick timeline. I'll give Gabe the press release, and we can get that out to the public. Financial and operational trends. I'll go through it a little bit quickly tonight. We note that the building construction is up compared to the last couple of years. Fire calls, if you look at July, they had a very busy July. I would make note of the back-to-back and multiple calls where they have more than one call going on at one time. It was up significantly over the last couple of years' averages. We added this last month, or month before, the mobile integrated healthcare, the community paramedic number. You'll see that person is making quite a few contacts with patients. Remember, this is in trying to get different kind of care out to the public as opposed to just standard ambulance response, picks them up, takes them to the hospital. If there's an alternative, that's what this person is trying to do, and we're seeing those numbers, we're gonna see those continuously go up. We're in our first month of general assistance status, or our welfare data. We're seeing about the same numbers that we generally see. Police, I'll make a note, we did this last month, but I'll make a note on the park walk and talk, extra patrol, community policing numbers are more than double what they were last year. There's just been an attempt by the police department to be out doing more of this type of work, and we see their numbers increasing quite significantly. Property tax collection's fine. The overtime is only 1 month into it, so nothing really to report there. Motor vehicle registration is technically slightly ahead of where we would expect it to be, but right on pace. We weren't able to get Parks and Rec numbers this month. We'll do both at this corresponding meeting next month. Impact fee reviews. So as you can see, the numbers are in there. We're seeing the impact fees go up. That's expected when building construction goes up, and we're seeing more of that, so that corresponds with each other. Excuse me. In a couple of months, both the planning board and you will be seeing a review of our impact fees, which was done by a professional company. They're finalizing, the planning department's finalizing that now, so we should be seeing that in the next couple of months. As well as a request from our department heads, or from me to our department heads, to identify potential uses for this money. Just as a reminder of impact fees, it's not designed to be a piggy bank that sits there for, forever. It is by RSA has to be spent. We're certainly well within all of our timeframes for when the money is spent, but it's something we always try to keep up on. No change within the reserve balances, code statistics. You see their building permits actually equaled out to what they were last year at this time, but we're seeing them stay consistently busy. You can tell it's summer because boat taxes, people are out registering their boats. And EMS billing on the back page. We're waiting to see what some of the changes in new law this year, how it's going to affect us. It should be affecting us in a positive way, but so we'll be curious to see how this changes over the next few months. And that is all I have for you.
Thank you. Any questions for the city manager? Okay. Moving on to new business, agenda item number 21A, request for a building permit on private lot 54. The owner of 54 Colonial Road submitted a building permit to construct a single-family home on the existing vacant lot. Colonial Road is neither a city street, nor does it correspond with a street plat approved by Planning Board. In accordance with RSA 674:41, the Planning Board must review, provide comments, if any, on the building permit prior to going to City Council for review and approval. The Planning Board reviewed the building permit at its meeting of August 5th, 2025. The board would ask the City Council to consider requiring a drainage plan to be submitted to, reviewed, and approved by the Department of Public Works prior to the issuance of the permit. In accordance with RSA 674:41, the City Council must now review and determine whether to approve or deny the issuance of a building permit. If the City Council approves the issuance of the permit, the property owner must sign a document acknowledging that the city shall have no responsibility for the maintenance of or liability for any damages incurred from the use of the private road. This document will be recorded at the Belknap County Registry of Deeds. There is no direct or immediate fiscal impact to the city. The Planning Department recommends the council approve the issuance of this building permit. Kirk, is there anything you want to touch on before we get into this?
No, nothing other than this is a pretty standard. We do have to do this. We've done a number of these even over the last couple of years. It's a pretty standard process to follow for private roads.
You know, one of the questions I have when we're dealing with this, right, we're starting out private. 20, 30, 40 years from now, there's another city council dealing with this as somebody thinks this should be a city road. Yet the road has never been built, besides the drainage aspect of it, up to snuff, so to speak. Is there anything here that we can do to make sure that 40 years from now, we're not repaving, widening a road that?
Yeah. So I'll tell you what we've been doing is we've been and this has gone on for a few years now, is when a road is built, it's being identified at the beginning of public versus private, better documentation of it and better understanding of what it is. We've run into this now with a couple of different developments, where one of the first conversations we have about roads is defining public versus private. And even if they come in and say, well, yeah, maybe we'll want to make it public, we have them build the city standards. So the work is going on, not on the roads that are existing, but certainly on any new roads going forward. We're doing a much better job at identifying and documenting what the expectation of that road is for the 40 years down the line when a different mayor and council is sitting there trying to figure this out.
So is this road, I'm not familiar with it, is it being built to city standards?
This road
besides drainage?
This road has existed for a number of years.
Okay, all right. Councilor Cheney, do you have a question?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I wondered if we ought to at least put something in about right-of-way. That they have to build far enough back from it so that it could be brought up to standard. Am I making any sense? I think the plan.
Yeah, I was gonna
planning
say, Rob
director's
might be able
getting
to,
nervous.
So the building permit, they'll still have to meet all of their setback requirements. So they'll still have to be,
So the road they'd have to have enough room.
yep, so they'd still have to be set back. I think it's, that's the RS, so they'd have to be 25 feet from the edge of the
Fair
right of
enough.
way. as
Thank
it
you,
is.
Mr.
Yep.
Mayor.
Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. So we have a motion before us. I'd be looking for a motion to move to authorize the issuance of a building permit for 54 Colonial Road with the following conditions. 1, a drainage plan must be submitted to, reviewed, and approved by the Department of Public Works prior to the issuance of a permit. 2, the acknowledgement of the city's limited responsibility and liability for the private road is signed and recorded at the Belknap County Registry of Deeds. Also included this is that, in this motion, is to authorize the city manager to sign on behalf of the city the notice of limits of responsibility and liability form in connection with this matter. Which ward is this road? I'm sorry, I'm ignorant.
6.
6.
Colonial and Plantation.
It's Colonial, okay, it's part of that.
It's
oh,
part of that
I
development.
guess I missed that, okay, thank you. So, that's the motion before you. Would you like to motion for this?
Sure.
Counselor Felch, is there a second? Counselor Cheney, thank you. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah.
Yes.
One question I would have, is there any type of bond, so say a contractor goes bankrupt or doesn't finish the work, even though it's planned to be a city road, that would be able to be used to finish the road?
This has nothing to do with the road.
No,
This
I
is-
know, but I'm saying on these types of roads, the privates.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, there's absolutely things we can do moving forward. This is stuff that was not done
Okay.
a number of years ago
Yeah.
that we are doing very much differently over the last probably decade or so.
Okay, good.
Happy with that?
Yep.
Any further discussion on this? All those in favor of the motion on the table, please indicate by raising your hand. 6 votes in the affirmative, that motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 21B, Resolution 2025-27, request to authorize the city manager to accept and expend a New Hampshire Department of Safety grant in the amount of $40,000. Laconia Police Department applied for the New Hampshire Department of Safety to the New Hampshire Department of Safety for grant funding under the Granite Shield Northern Shield Grant Program. The grant will provide the Laconia Police Department the resources to identify, investigate, and apprehend individuals and/or organizations that are involved in narcotics-related drug use and trafficking. The department was recently informed that the grant has been awarded to them. The requested funds will cover overtime expenses incurred for these efforts. The grant is a 2-year grant. There is no local match requirement for this grant. We had a dance party starting out right in the middle of that, okay. So Alan Grayton, the captain, has recommended the acceptance of this grant. This motion, this item, agenda item, has 3 separate motions. The first is to motion to move to waive a reading of Resolution 2025-27 in its entirety and read by title only. So made by Counselor Cheney, seconded by Counselor Susie. Is there any further discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor, please raise your hand. 6 votes in the affirmative, that motion passes. Next on this matter, looking to, for a motion to move a first reading of Resolution 2025-27, request to authorize the city manager to accept and expend a New Hampshire Department of Safety grant on behalf of the city in the amount of $40,000. So made by Counselor Cheney, seconded by Counselor Haynes. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. 6 votes in the affirmative, and that motion passes. Finally, on this matter, looking for a motion to move to schedule a public hearing on August 25th, 2025, during the regular city council meeting to gather public input prior to any action being taken. So made by Counselor Felch, second by Counselor Cheney. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. 6 votes in the affirmative. That motion passes as well. Agenda item number 21C, City Council discussion regarding proposed water rate increases. At the regularly scheduled meeting of July 21st, the Board of Water Commissioners voted to proceed with increasing its water rates by changing the base rate from $25 per quarter to $28.75 per quarter, a 15% increase. The rate change for consumption is proposed to change from $2.55 to $2.81 per 100 cubic feet, which is a 10% increase. The increase will allow the Water Department to keep in good financial position while continuing being able to meet current and future operational capital needs of the department. The change will go into effect for any bills generated on or after January 1st, 2026, and will reflect any water used on or after November 1st, 2025. The estimated increase for a family of 4 with average water usage is $1.08 per day. Or approximately an additional $30 per month, $360 per year. So,
Can I interject on that, if I may?
no. There is a public hearing regarding the rate change on August 12th, 2025 at 6 PM in City Council chambers. The city manager has been asked to place this on City Council agenda for review and discussion. Estimated increase of $350,000 in revenue to the water department. That's the fiscal impact. All right, so this is a discussion. If you'd like to come up, Ben, you can come up right now and speak to it if you like.
One quick clarification.
No, wait, come up and speak. Come on. No, come right up to the microphone so you're on the camera and we can see you and stuff.
I just wanted one quick clarification on that, and you guys can have your discussion. It is not $1.08 per day increase. That is the cost of water per day. It's 11 cents per day. So the staff report is slightly different than what the cost is.
It's dramatically off then.
Yes, it's $41 a year change for a single family house, not $300 and something dollars.
Okay, all right, that's, so this should reflect,
The
once
cost
again,
per
can you
day
tell
is-
me that again?
The cost per day is 11 cents more per day. It was 97 cents per day before. It's $1.08 now. The total cost per
So
year.
this is not the estimated increase?
The $350,000 is what we plan to estimate for a revenue increase.
No, okay, I got that, no.
Yes.
No, the line in this, which is problematic. The quote, I'm reading, the estimated increase for a family of 4 with average water usage is $1.08 per day. That is incorrect.
Correct.
Right. So the estimated increase for a family of 4 with average water usage is
11 cents.
11 cents per day.
Or $41 per year.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
That is really helpful, and I appreciate you doing that. Yeah. All right, so the topic. Counselor Susie, you are the liaison to the Water Commission. Is there something that you would like to maybe start the discussion with us?
Just so we can all be clear, a couple of things I just wanted to, and if you don't mind, Mr. Mayor.
No, please.
I'd like to ask Brian to come up to the microphone so he's chairman of the Water Commission Board,
Yeah, sure.
okay? And, just for there's a question of clarification, Brian, I wanted you there, but number one, so we all understand, if I'm wrong, somebody will correct me. The rate increase to the water, what the water department wants to do is really the decision of the water board, not of the city council. Am I correct, Brian?
That's correct.
Okay. Number two, the amount that the water department wants to raise, the $350,000 approximately per year, is based upon the average usage, as pointed out earlier, and correct. It's 11 cents per day.
About $41 a year.
$41 a year.
A little less than $1 a week.
At the Water Commission last meeting, when this was discussed, I opposed this significantly. And the reason I opposed this significantly is because there's $2-point-something million in cash in the bank of the water department. And I can't see spending that or asking the ratepayers of the city of Laconia to add for that additional money. We have that money in the bank. Secondly, when we look at the report, the budget report we had this year, there's a clause in there, and I might not have it correctly, and Mark, you can help me with this. There was no plan to raise the rates this year in this budget year. Am I correct?
That's what it says.
So now that's all changing, and I'm disturbed by it. I'm not sure the rest of the council is, but we really have no say. I just wanted to bring it up.
Well, we're talking about an enterprise fund here. We have to
That's
say
right.
it's up to the Water Commission to make this determination.
That's correct.
And I think
That's
we
why
all
I
are.
brought it up first. and-
Right, I think we're all sensitive to increases to ratepayers or taxpayers, regardless what's driving it, but I'm trying to figure out why it's in front of the council right now, that's all.
If I may, Mr. Mayor. at least for me. We have a police commission, but the police commission has to come to us for whatever funds they appropriate or expend. We just authorized $40,000 for the police department. The Laconia Police Commission didn't do that. We did. I happen to know the chairman. I know he's a honorable and well-intentioned man. But I think when it comes to these things, the council should be making the decision about rate increases. And I say this for this reason, and I've attended some of their meetings as the alternate. The argument that I heard was, well, if we have a significant incident or something, we want to have the funds. My argument to that is, if we lose a fire truck tomorrow, $1 million fire truck tomorrow, we're going to buy a new fire truck. And if we have $1 million, or God forbid, even worse, water problem, we will come up with the funds they need to get that done. They have over $2 million, close to $3 million, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Close to $3 million in escrow in a bank account, I assume.
It's approximately 6 months of operating expenses, that's correct.
And I just, I'm of the opinion that we should I would like it referred to the Government Operations Committee for review and study about whether we should change that portion, that is the approval of rate increases portion, to reflect the council's views. I think the Water Commission has every right to come in here and, as the Police Commission does, and make their case for funds. But I think the ultimate decision should be ours. That's my.
I'll look to the city manager. What is our authority as a council to make this change?
As of right now, with what they're doing, nothing other than comment. It is an ordinance, so you would have, as with any ordinance change, you would have the opportunity to review it, public hearing, make decisions on whether or not you want to change this particular ordinance.
So
it was implemented by ordinance by a council in the past.
So in the abstract, theoretically speaking, a department that has somewhere between 2.5 and $3 million of cash on hand, it sounds like a lot of money to have on hand, right, in reserve. But is it really based on benchmarks for the industry? And what are the benchmarks for the industry for water, for a water department our size? You know, what is the practice that we should be comparing ourselves against? And might look to our finance director if he can shed any light on this. And what are the review? What is the audit of our water department? What does that look like? And what recommendations for cash on hand have they made to us?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have not thoroughly researched the appropriate level of reserves for a water department. What I can say is that in none of the audits that have been done for the city and for the water department has the auditor ever pointed that number and say that's way too high. So there's nothing to indicate from the auditors that the reserves are at an unacceptable level.
Is there an opportunity to ask them for an analysis as to what is the benchmark for an operation this size? What's the rule of thumb that we should be applying to cash on hand? I mean, how do we get a little direction on this instead of well-intentioned people who are not involved in this business trying to make a decision?
We can certainly do that. The fact our new auditors have been on board for all of 2 days now. We can give them time to, I mean, I can pose a question to them tomorrow. And actually that might work to our advantage because it's a large firm that would be bringing a new perspective to the question. Okay. So we can do that.
Councilor Cheney.
My desire to see this to go to committee is, It may very well be that it's just the way it's supposed to be, but I'd like to study it and figure out, we've got a commission that has nowhere near this sort of authority, and I question whether that's a good idea. But the point of a study is, I'm not asking for a vote today. I'd like the committee to look at it, accept the information you're asking for, and anything else that might be germane to this discussion, so we can make that decision, Mr. Mayor.
I'd also like the committee, Mr. Mayor, to take a look at other water departments, compare them to the city, you know, our size, and what other departments throughout the state are doing comparatively wise, and see, number one, are they falling under the city as a city department? Are they an enterprise fund? And how it, you know, pertaining to their cash situation, do they come to their city councils or board of selectmen, you might say, and get the authorizations for rate increases? Thank you.
Counselor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A question to the city manager, or to Glenn. What would be, for a city our size, the appropriate reserve for the city to have?
Depends on what you read. It's really, I mean, it's a gap of anywhere between 5 and 6% to about 15%. Different studies do different things. It is hard to find one that just locks it into one, but so there's a little bit of a gap.
And what would that number be currently?
What
For
we're
us?
currently at?
Yes.
I can go back and look at the last audit to get that exact number for you.
I'm just, well, I'm trying to do a comparison in my head between one city department of holding almost $3 million in a city. I know for the county itself, our reserve or fund balance is less than 5, and that's for the county. And I see a water department wants almost $3 million in a savings account, and then to increase the rate to cover an increase in the fund balance for no other reason than to fund the fund balance. And I have to question that, as we're all pinching our pennies trying to make our cities and counties budgets, that we can just, off the top of our head, for no reason whatsoever that I've read, say we're going to increase the rate.
Well, I
That
think,
makes no
hold on, I
sense
think
to
you're
me.
putting words in their mouth. I don't,
Hold on.
We don't, I don't think we've heard from the department as to why they need additional revenue. Saying they're doing it for no reason, doing it on a lark, is probably unfair to them, and I wouldn't put words in their mouth. I think it's particularly dangerous to point to the county budget and the budget process and say, well, that's the benchmark for how we conduct our business. I think we all know what's gone on there, and I think as a city councilor, I think you should be aware of that too, that is just a bill that has gone up exponentially, delivered from the county to the city of Laconia over the past few years to cover their operating expenses and shortfalls. So I don't think we should compare our city operations to county operations, which I think is distinctly different.
That's
And
your
I
opinion, sir.
If it weren't my opinion, I probably wouldn't be sharing it, but that's just my logic there.
Well, I'm sharing my
yeah, so I think it's also kind of dangerous to look at the overall cash reserve we have here, because there are going to be different rates of drawdown if revenues were to be cut off completely from various departments. So it has to do what their spend rate is going to be out of that department. I think somebody, did you say it was 6 months span of operating?
Roughly 6 months of operating
6
expenses.
months of
sir.
operating. I mean, I think that's, as a dollar.
1 month plus 5, you have
Yeah.
current expenses and 5 more.
But I think there are distinct differences among departments as
Absolutely.
to what their drawdown is and their cash needs. So I think we have, our inferences should be cautious, and that is in fact my opinion. Yeah.
If I could, Mr. Mayor.
Please, yes.
I'd say that I would agree with the direction that's going. I know the DRA looks at us, as the city manager was saying, to have at least 5% of our general fund expenditures as a fund balance. And 5% is a point where they start coming to us and saying, this is getting to be too low. There's no regulatory part. We can bring it all the way down to 0. They have no control over that, but fiscally, that's getting that's getting rough. We, over the last few years, have kept that between 5 and 10%, which is a good place to be. The area that I would say, in advance of checking with the auditors, is that one of the differences, I believe, between city operations and water department operations is that you look at the mix of total operations invested in capital as opposed to, say, police department. Police department is a very service-heavy situation. It would be hard in the police department for a piece of equipment to fail or a piece of infrastructure to fail that would lead to a massive need to spend funds. Opposed to the water department, which is very capital and infrastructure heavy, if there is a failure in that infrastructure, it could be a very catastrophic situation. So I'm not saying that justifies where they are. I'm saying that is one of the items to keep in mind as to the need to have cash reserves for that type of emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Yes, Councilor Felcher.
So with that said, I can't remember how much it was, but the Hill Street incident up in that area in Lakeport, when we had the failure up there and the floods and everything, what was that cost?
Ben, you know off the top of your head? I don't want to take
The Hill Street one particularly was not expensive just because it was a smaller break. It was a large impact to the city. We shut down a lot of water. Our biggest break in the past year was up at the Weirs Beach Channel. I don't know if anybody remembers us up there digging last, right around 4th of July, just before it. And that was around $30,000 just for one break. We currently have a raw water pump that is down, which is just over $100,000. We have one pump that's running the whole city right now. So as we talk about these things, there's a lot more to it. You know, Councilor Bogarts, you mentioned, I don't think you have the full story, and I'd be glad to tell it to anybody that would like to hear. There's more to it than just, you know,
I
a
think
money
that's
grab.
fair to say. The water department works very closely and will absolutely participate and work with the council to address the questions that you're asking of. Thank the finance department for helping us hire a new financial analyst. Councilman Susi, Councilman Cheney have worked on the commission for quite a long time. I mean, the beauty of the problem we're talking about is we're well capitalized. It's not, you know, the kind of problem where we're capital deficient. We would be happy to work with the council to address the questions that you're asking.
Thank you. Thank you both.
And that, if I might, Mr. Mayor, that's my point. Let's look at this and see, you know, where we should be and who should make what decisions. That's, I guess, all I'm at. We could be sitting here a couple of months from now saying what they have is perfect. I'm just not sure sitting here tonight. And I'd like a committee to look at that and get some input. Some of the questions you asked, particularly, Mr. Mayor, should be answered.
Which committee would you like this to go to?
Government operations and
So we'd look to
Ordinance.
move this discussion forward, and government operations. Looks like a motion's been brought by Councilor Cheney.
Yes.
Seconded by Councilor Susi. Okay. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your hands. That's 6 votes in the affirmative. That motion passes. Thank you.
thanks, guys.
We'll look forward to working with that group.
Time on that, was it Wednesday?
No, this one won't be on Wednesdays.
Okay, all right, so we'll be on the next one, okay. Thank you.
And just maybe one closing comment, since this was about the rate increase. Ben's done some wonderful research. He's asking about some of the other areas in the state. Laconia operates with the 4th lowest price for water, am I quoting that correctly, Ben? In the state right now. So we take very seriously the rate increases and try to minimize them, push them out as far as we can. We've tried to keep the department well capitalized and the rates as affordable as they can be. Have a wonderful evening, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's it.
That concludes our formal agenda. I would like to look to take the council into a non-public session according to RSA 91-A, capital A, colon 3, Roman 2, the dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee or investigation of any charges against him unless the employee affected has a right to a meeting and requests that right to a meeting, in which the case shall be granted. Like a motion to go into that. Counselor Hoffman, seconded by Counselor Susie. Is that all right? Ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Counselor Cheney?
Yes?
Counselor Susie?
Yes.
Counselor Hoffman?
Yes.
Counselor Haynes?
Yes.
Counselor Bogert?
Yes.
Counselor
Yes.
6 votes in the affirmative. We're now going into non-public. Would you like to stay, Mr. Smith?
Typically I do, but that's your choice, Mr. Mayor.
I'm glad you're here.
Let me just shut this stuff
I was just giving you permission to leave if you wanted to. It's nice to
Nothing
have
good
you.
on tonight.
Nice to have you.